Hello. In today's meeting, we are going to discuss a simple domain ad hoc view configuration issue that could cause some problem due to non-technical reasons. For this video, I want to show you how to add a locale and the time zone to the existing Jasper Server 7.51 instance. And this process is really straightforward. The procedure is documented in the admin guide for Jasper Server. So all we need to do to add a new time zone is to add a entry to application context table. So the only thing we want to make sure is the value we want to add is a valid database entry in the database list. So according to the database list for the time zone, let's look for Myanmar. So the time zone would be Asian Yangon, okay, which is a Greenwich Mean Time plus 6 hours and 30 minutes. Actually, is equivalent to a Indian local time. Okay, so all we need to do is, according to the documentation, all we need to do is to add that entry in the application context file, okay, which we did. So let's give a try to see what happens. Okay, first we have this one up and running. Let's test. I already created domain for the testing. So let's try the Greenwich Mean Time to see what domain will provide, and then we can. Let me see. I have the right version running 25. Okay. So we log in. We already have a domain in the database defined. So let's take a look at this domain. Do edit. So in this domain, something very simple against our user table and to see the passwords. So let's see the pre-filters. We'll filter against the event. Okay, this is against our sample data, sorry. You can see the time zone is 0 hours of August 1st. Okay, this is for the domain. So we have a ad hoc view pulling out records from this domain. All right, so this ad hoc view will display whatever time data with the correct time zone. This time is, in this case, it's Greenwich summertime. Okay, so let's log out, and we will select our Yangon time zone. Okay, log in. Let's first take a look at the domain. The domain should be 6.5 hours ahead of our 0 hour Greenwich time zone. Okay, look at the profile. 5 and 30 instead of 0, instead of 6:30, because now we are in the summer time zone, which means we look forward by an hour. So far so good. So let's take a look to see what the ad hoc view from this domain will provide. We are getting error. What does it say? It says the time zone we are using, which is fine with the domain, is not recognized with the Geoda time zone. What does that mean? So let's look at our Geoda file, which is used here to see the version. Okay, sorry. Okay, it's version 2.2. This is one using the Jasper report server. So according to the 2.2 version, 2.2 version of the Joda, for the time plus 6.5 time zone, let's see what we have. For 6:30, we have a Ragun, we have the Indian. So we don't have a Yangon, but Ragun. Why? Look at the Wikipedia for Ragun. Actually, the old way to pronounce Ragun, Yangon is Ragun. Okay, so seems to me the 2.2 version of this Joda doesn't have the valid entry to Yangon. Therefore, we need to use this one, Asia Ragun. Okay, so let's try this one. And log out. I already have this one configured using the other one. Okay, so Rangoon, log in, try our domain just to make sure the time still half, 5.5 different. Okay, edit, which you shouldn't have any problem because we had any problem previously. Okay, so far so good. Let's see whether our ad hoc view can handle this situation because they're using a different. Okay, good. So in that case, since we are using a 2.2 version of Joda time jar, we cannot use Yangon. We have to use Rangoon. So what is the difference between Yangon and Rangoon? This is back in 1989, when Burma had a coup. So the military junta, after the coup, decided to change all the city and country name from a more like Romanized pronunciation spelling into a Burmese pronunciation like spelling. So the spelling of the city for Myanmar has been changed. But the Western world comes slow to adapting that change for some political reasons. Therefore, the 2.2 version has not reflect that change. So in this case, whenever user want to modify a time zone, they have to look at the specification for the version that we are using, which is 2.2. Sorry, something's blocking me. I cannot click on the. Okay, now let's see if I can click on it. We have to look up this document. Later, I'm going to provide this list in the at the end. Okay, to make sure it's on the list. Therefore, you don't have problem in ad hoc view. Even though in domain we are not using Joda, we are using the database table. Database table actually has such entry, right, as we see. But in the latest version of Joda, 6. They are using this new name and make the older name as an alias. So if you use the latest version of Joda, which I have another version I already deployed. Let's see which one. This one is this. I have another instance running. Let's see if you're using the 2.10.6, which is the latest version as of today. And we should be able to use the Yangon. We have to stick with the Yangon. Okay. Let's see what else I want to say. Okay. By the way, to download that 10.6 jar file, you can log into Joda time release website, and this is latest version. Just click on this one to download. I'm going to provide this link at the end of this video as well. Okay. So now let's log into our application again, since I've already switched the instance. Just refresh. So this is the one uses the Yangon, the new time zone. Okay. So while we are waiting for this one, so if you're interested, know the whole history of the politics behind this, there is a website basically saying what is the reason US basically until this day still not kind of recognizing this new name, but up to 2018. Okay, but anyway, so there's a little history there. Let's see if we have our stuff back up and running or not. So this is the one we are testing using the new jar file and the Yangon time zone. All right, hopefully it wouldn't take that long. So while we are waiting, let me see what else I want to show you. Oh, by the way, there is a website provide the admin guide online. I'm going to put that link in the at the end of the video, so you can look at all this documentation and all these things online. You don't have to look at the PDF copy of it. Okay, now this one's up and running. It's the same version 7.5. Let's see the time zone we are using. I want to use Yangon. Okay, the new time zone name. Okay, first look at still make sure our domain works. Okay, domain. Loading pre-filter 5:30, good. And then to see moment of the truth. This one's using Yangon. Okay, now it's loading. That means we already overcome that error. So now it's picking up the definition from this 2.10. Whatever version here. Okay. So that's all I want to present. So the bottom line is when coming to a configuration, you really have to look at the relevant document with regard to a particular technology. In this case, we are using the Joda time zone to govern our ad hoc view process. And the reference, as promised, is here. Admin guide, online copy, list of time zone. This is for the database time zone. Joda 2.2 available time zone here, which does not recognize the new Yangon time zone, and the new available Joda current one, which recognize that one, and also where you can download. This VT article give the history about this Yangon versus the old name Rangoon, which is basically Roman spelling. And that article, this is more of the politics. So I don't really want to involve too much, but just give a history of why a simple technical issue becomes complicated because of politics. All right, so that is all I want to present in this video. And thank you for using JasperSoft server product. And if you have any thoughts or anything, please leave a comment. And also, if you really like the content, please give us a thumb up. Thank you very much.